Welcome to Rethink. We are shooting from your local Cabela's right now.
Yeah, so we got some feedback going. You need more dead stuff hanging on the walls.
And now we have it.
We have more dead stuff. New dead stuff will make appearances
every week.
Each week.
Every week. I can't wait till you go hunting and we get a dead wiener for the wall.
From any species?
Any species. I don't care what it is.
Just nail it.
Yeah, I don't want it mounted well. I want a nail.
You said weenie.
I said wiener.
Wiener.
Yeah.
Because wiener's our word.
Wiener's the word.
Do you know how many men and women came up to me this weekend at church and just went, wiener?
Wiener. Yeah, it's great.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of
Most of them.
A lot. Yeah. It got awkward a couple times. She was like 75, 80.
Yeah, wiener.
Hey, wiener. Grandma.
That's awesome. That's so good.
It was bad. I had a school teacher that was playing this podcast in his room.
Yep.
And he's grading papers, and we were going on a wiener rant.
Yep.
And he had a bunch of 7th grade boys come in, and he had to turn it off real fast. I went, 7th grade boys
They would have loved it.
wiener jokes.
Yeah, that would have looped him in right there.
Oh, yeah.
I love that we're talking about that we go on wiener rants. I don't know if that's been on any podcast in the world at any time.
It's been hinted at that we will have wiener t-shirts someday.
Can't wait for that day.
Yeah.
I thought that'll be a really, really good day. Right, John C.?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good day.
We'll merchandise.
We just talked to John C's
girlfriend.
Fiance to be.
Yes.
He's like a fiance. It's like Christmas Eve.
Pre-fiance.
Right? Rachel.
Pre-fiance.
And
yes.
so is she in accounting?
Kind of. She's not an accountant.
She does mortgage.
Mortgage and
she directs
finance.
the funds.
Right.
And she needs to move out here to Denver so y'all can get engaged.
That is
So if anybody
correct.
listening out there
Get her a
needs
job.
somebody like a comptroller,
Her title is cashiering operations specialist.
Get her a job.
Whatever those words mean to you,
nothing.
I mean, I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
It's either a grocery store or a casino.
I would love a casino.
In a grocery store?
Wow. Could you imagine? We were talking about that this weekend. I'm not going on a cruise unless it has a casino. I don't want to go on a cruise.
I've never
either.
been on a cruise.
I don't like the structure of it, but Taylor was like, there's a casino on board almost all of them. I'm like, okay, I'll go. Sold.
Rob and I almost went on a cruise to Alaska, and then they told us that sometimes if the weather's bad, you're just in a little boat with a bunch of old people playing cards.
See, I like that.
In the cold.
I don't like that, but I like the playing cards. I could do that all day long.
Yeah.
Hey, before we jump into this,
Yep.
We wanted to thank you. If you're listening to this, if you subscribe to this, thank you for pushing this. We got to number 3.
Yep.
Number 3 on iTunes because of your guys' support, your guys' following.
Number 1 in new and noteworthy.
Yep, new and noteworthy. Number 1.
We're hanging out there for quite a while,
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep sharing this. Keep showing people this. We appreciate it a lot.
Yep.
It's been cool to see. We're gonna jump in this. We ended the Man series this past weekend.
Yeah.
So everything that this
in a big way
culminated to this.
Let me tell you how the
Yeah.
Man series ended.
Yeah.
My son and I took my oldest grandson up to the mountains, and he shot his first rifle.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he shot a tree limb. It fell off.
Heck yeah. It's a powerful gun that I saw.
Powerful as a 22.
Yep.
I think it's called a cricket.
50 Cent got shot by 9 of those and lived.
For real?
Yeah. He's a bad man. Yeah.
Was it a kill shot?
It was definitely a kill shot. Well, it wasn't a kill shot. It didn't end everything, but got close. But
Yeah,
22, you know. So Jonah could be a lethal killer at some point with that 22.
I don't want to be a lethal killer.
Taking out elk
Unless you're taking out dead animals.
Yeah, for sure.
Making
Like the ones
animals
behind
dead, nail their wieners to the wall.
all day long.
Boom.
We should have a wiener wall.
Drop.
Wiener wall. Every animal you kill, because I'm not going to kill any.
Why not?
I'm not good at that. You took me hunting once.
You almost shot my dog.
Well, almost is the key word. I didn't even shoot that,
And what did I tell you if you shot my dog?
that you would shoot me.
I think that's in the Bible.
Yep. But luckily I'm there to give you fashion tips throughout all of our time.
I don't know how you walked around that field with pants that tight.
They looked good though. They were sick with my Timberlands too. Like I had the full hunting. I had a camo Adidas hat. It was a good look.
Yeah.
The animals did not know we were coming. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
They hid so well we never found them.
Did you shoot a bird that day?
I shot at a couple.
You shot at hunting.
Yeah. Well, that's because I need a pistol grip shotgun. If I had these, that's all I need. I don't need any of this. Like camo shotgun. No, I want a pistol grip shotgun. Mossberg pump. I heard about it in a rap song. So that's all I know.
You sound so tough though.
I know, so tough.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be sick. So walk us through every week so far. You and Ben have come out and taught about a lot of different things that for people that have been coming for a while. There was some stuff that was like, we heard this before, this is a good reminder, but then there's a lot of new stuff too. What out of all of this challenged you to teach that from stage, to teach those things that you were teaching, like that comes from personal life experience. That's not you going like, oh, here's a good idea for other people. That had to have come from, hopefully, from within you. So what challenged you in this man series?
Well, that's a great question. I think that what challenged me was I was reminded of something that I tend to forget by definition.
Yeah.
Meaning this is that I remember probably, I don't know if it was right before or right after I went to Crucible 5 years ago. It'd be after, because James Henderson down in Mexico was with me. And we traveled around South Sudan and Kenya and visited like 5 or 6 different churches. And they didn't know we were coming, and there was nothing coordinated. And we sat in there, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with all the stuff God was doing in my heart in terms of spiritual masculinity. And I'm not kidding. Every church service that we sat in, some of them were huts, some were concrete buildings, some were just out under a tree. Every pastor that taught, and they weren't all like the same denomination, so it wasn't assigned. And some of them were African, and some of them were, one guy was European. They all taught on the greatest commandment: love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And it's almost like the 4th time, we kind of looked at each other like, this is kind of weird. Mm-hmm. The 6th time, we were like, maybe we should pay attention to this. And so that's when I started leaning into the quadrants, and they began to mean so much more, even in the heart, soul, mind, strength, mm-hmm. king, lover, magi, warrior. It started moving together, and then you think, okay, I've learned that. And then you go, okay, what else do I need to learn? Mm-hmm. And it always has to come back to that. I mean, I think my 2 favorite talks, I think maybe I've ever given, were this past week, of tying 5 or 6 different stories in the Bible together that all came back to heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then going back to the armor of God and seeing how the armor of God does the same thing, right? My mind that's set on the Spirit, right, tells my emotions, or tells my emotions what to feel, tells my mind what to think, or how to think is true, mm-hmm. and then that dictates to my body. To see those things in progression, heart, soul, mind, strength, all work together. And if you flip them around and go, strength, mind, soul, heart, mm-hmm. you'll screw up your life every time. Yeah. Because the lead domino there is, my body wants this. And it's like, if you follow your heart, if it's led by your body, you'll go to prison
quickly,
yeah. Right? And as a matter of fact, when we were talking about all the God behind bars stuff, one of the things that they said that kind of brought it all together for me was, almost everybody listening to my voice has done something that could be in prison for. We just didn't get caught, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And almost all of those things are back to, I did something with my body because I was thinking crazy and I was feeling out of control, and my heart just said, screw it, let's do it, right? Yeah. And we just didn't get caught. But that heart, soul, mind, strength, in that order, and again, heart and mind, soul and mind, emotions and thoughts. In the Hebrew, that's one thing. So I think it can get confusing. I don't have to get hung up on which one's first. There's something, it's simultaneous. But you have to start with the Spirit speaking to your king, and you have to end with your flesh being told what to do.
I think the goal is that it's simultaneous, that they work together.
Right.
What happens when we separate those? When we try to?
Well, try to say that didn't have anything to do with that.
No, like when we say like my thoughts, like the knowledge that I have, I'm going to throw that by the wayside and just follow these emotions, or vice versa.
You're going to make a really stupid decision, mm-hmm. because you're not thinking clearly. I mean, how many times have you had to look at your wife and gone, I don't know what I was thinking? Or she's like, what are you thinking? And I wasn't.
Yeah.
Or we try to suspend reality, but we know it's not true. We just say, we kind of weigh the consequences, the risk, benefit, and go, I'm gonna get killed for this, but screw it, I'm going to do it. And you throw another $100 on the table, right?
Yeah.
And now you can't pay your electric bill,
yep.
right? So I think anytime you say, okay, I want to deny that I have sexual, feelings, or I'm going to deny that I'm a man and I want to express sexuality, I'm going to pretend like that's not true. All you do is give it more power. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go away, right? And so that's why I think you have to say, okay, all the parts of who I am, heart, soul, mind, strength, have to work together. And so I have to consciously, and we'll get to this in this next series, right? And we'll talk about that here in a few minutes, but I have to consciously take it through going, okay, what am I feeling, but what's true? And that's new. That's a new way, because usually we just go, what do I feel? That's what I'm going to do. Or what do I think? I think I'm afraid, and then I don't do anything. And if you stop and go, what I think is I don't trust God. Why don't I trust God? Because the last time this happened, all right, I got to think through that. But what did he say was true? All right. So then you go back going, okay, I'm going to take a step of faith. And unless you're afraid, but then you're not thinking about God the right way. Mm-hmm. Or maybe God's saying, hey, you should be afraid of this. You should run. Mm-hmm. And that's actually the better thing to do. It doesn't make you a coward. It makes you wise. Hey, there's a lion, right? Well, the Lord is with me. Maybe I should just, fight the lion. Unless you're that guy up on that running trail the other day, you can choke out a lion, which I think he should be our new quarterback.
He's a bad man. That's a good thing.
Can he throw? I don't know.
I don't think he even needs to. We got Philip Lindsay. Yeah. We just need somebody who's smart enough to...
Joe Flacco.
Oh, damn it. The worst.
Well, last time we had a really old quarterback, it worked out.
You can't compare Peyton Manning to Joe Flacco.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for even saying that.
Joe Flacco just drives me insane.
But what if he's a great guy?
He might be. That doesn't make him a good quarterback.
But maybe he'd be on our podcast.
Oh, what up, Joe?
Joe. You the man.
Actually, I don't want him on here. So flesh that out a little bit more. Like,
who do you want? Kaepernick?
I would love Colin Kaepernick as our
He will not be on mine.
Oh, I would love him so much. Oh, he'd be great.
Listen, Nova Nation. It's where been nice having Cole on the podcast. He'll no longer be with us.
I'm starting a podcast with Colin.
He is available for employment, though.
Yeah, starting with Colin Kaepernick. What was challenging about that? Heart, soul, mind, and strength. You've taught on that before. You had a little bit of a different feel to it this time, though. So what was challenging about realigning that in your brain?
I think seeing how that order is, I've always just thought it's like they all work together and each one has to be healthy. There's a progression,
mm-hmm.
All right?
It's not an ebb and flow. It's
an orderly thing, and that's what Romans 8 is all about. Is like, so this the mind that is set on the spirit, so that's uphill to the heart that's being spoken by God, right, is set on life. And the mind that's set downhill on the flesh. So the progression, right? Flesh is down here, and heart and spirit are up there. So this mind he's like the decision maker, well, the advisor. Because most kings do what their advisors tell them to do, unless you're Trump or something like that.
Yeah, somebody who doesn't
you're just like,
people.
I'm just going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's not
a political.
Not even expressing a.
Not a political whatever.
Yeah.
But no, that makes sense.
Kanye's on board.
Oh, Kanye. If he's on board, we're fine. Oh, we are fine. I told you about during my host spot one time. Most of the time I talk about Kanye West, but I was talking about Kanye West and two people literally got up and left, and I was like, they wouldn't have lasted long anyway. Yeah.
I talk about parenting and people do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Kanye's a parent. This is all coming together. We should have him on the podcast.
Wow.
Nice.
What's his wife's name?
Kimberly, I think.
Something like that. And they're the epitome of family life.
They're great. They have a TV show. They would be fine.
Hey, let me go back to this. So I think the big thing for me was that order and that progression, and then how each one of those pieces of armor actually line up with that.
Yeah.
The mind, that helmet of salvation, that shield, or that breastplate of righteousness is the same one that Jesus was talking about, the good kind of goodness. I mean, it all tied together. But here's what I think was so awesome about this series. Like we just had the Thin Red Line re-sign up, and we had
2,500 plus,
almost 2,600 men, and we had over 700 people get baptized. And sometimes I go, is there anybody left?
Yeah.
And there's always another wave, because this is what's so cool is that I was talking to a guy in the gym. This is so great. So I'm talking to a guy in the gym this morning, and a big guy, and his name's Chris. And he goes, so I didn't make it to church this weekend. I was in Mexico with my girl, and so yesterday morning I was laying on the beach with my phone watching Flatirons and a mimosa in the other hand. I went, that's the best church service ever. Right? But he said was, sometimes I come to Flatirons a lot, but sometimes I come here and it really connects with me, and sometimes it doesn't. But this whole series has. There's just different ways that you can take the same part of the Bible and just change the metaphor a little bit or the application, and a whole new group of people go, well, I can connect with that now. And that was so good, because as the guy who stands on stage looking out at thousands of faces looking back, and the idea of 100,000 more faces looking through a computer screen at you around the world. This just blows my mind. I have the best perspective. And there were certain things where sometimes I called it out and the room went silent. Mm-hmm. But there's sometimes when I saw men kind of trying to figure out if they were am I going to listen to this? And then I'll say something and you'll watch them physically lean forward. Yesterday when I said, hey, I want to talk to men and boys who want to be good men someday. And here's what I mean by that. You want to be the kind of man who has a girl who goes, I trust you, I'll follow you anywhere because I feel safe. Or you want to be kind of dad that your son and daughter look back and going, but Dad, I trust you. You're the wisest man in my life, and I just, you show me what to do, and I trust you. And every man in there thought, well, man, I wish my kids thought that way about me. And every little boy says, I'm going to be that kind of dad because he hasn't bumped into life yet. Mm-hmm. But the follow-up conversation with most of those men who goes, man, I wish I was that, is, I bet I screwed it up so bad. And that's what, I think that anytime that you really connect with God, I think whenever we do this thin red line, and by the way, anybody that's listening to this wants a thin red line, just email us your address on the rethink@flatironschurch.com, and we'll send you as many as you want. We send them to England, we send them across the world to China, we send them all over the place. I love that story about those soldiers laying in Saddam Hussein's pool in floaties with their laptops watching Flatiron services.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll send them to Baghdad. But I think anytime we do a thin red line where you take a stand or you walk down and you say, I'm gonna demonstrate my faith through baptism, it should come with a disclaimer that goes, you're gonna get just kicked in the nuts this week. Yeah. Oh, I met a guy from England. He's a cop. And he hates the passivity over in England, so he resigned from the police force.
Only a little bit of it with the police
and so he was listening to this preacher online, and then they said, you also might like this, and he found Flatirons, and he's been eating it up. Hey, Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
He's from London, right?
You sound like you're from London.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Sometimes all my accents
sound the same.
They sound Hispanic.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go, hello, or hola. It's the same word.
It works.
Yeah. I'm international.
You sure are. That's exactly how I would describe you.
So Joe told me, so he's a cop, he resigned. He found Flatirons, he's been devouring everything. He flew over here from London. He's an unemployed cop now, all right? And he's just trying to figure out, he has a heart for Jesus. He got baptized in a church in Texas a couple of weeks ago. And then he came up here because he wanted to be able to the thin red line. And he said, this whole series has just been a real, I went, kick in the nuts. And he goes, yes. And I said, how do you say that in England? He goes, bollocks.
Kicking the bollocks.
Kicking the bollocks.
That's awesome.
So we have wieners and bollocks.
All day long.
We should make a drinking song. Wieners and bollocks, wieners and bollocks.
That could be the theme song. We need a theme song. New one. John C.
You're on it?
I will do my best.
Perfect. Thank you.
He just has to have wieners and bollocks, wieners and bollocks. Bollocks and wieners. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Either or.
It doesn't matter.
It plays off each other.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Yeah, every podcast so far we've had a
yeah.
Do you want to say it that way?
I don't really think before I talk usually. Shocking.
Yeah.
So it's interesting as you're talking about this progression, heart, soul, mind, and strength, with mind being in the middle. This next series that we're rolling into plays into that.
Yeah.
When your mind is in the middle, but you've had the repetitions,
that's it.
Things go better.
Yeah.
Talk through that.
Yeah. So the big commission is go to the whole world and teach them. All right. What I've taught you. And that's all God wants us to do. Don't teach stuff you don't know. Don't make it up as you go, right? And then a point will come, like this past weekend, where they say, I'm in, and they'll be baptized. And then what's the rest of your Christian life? It's rethinking everything and going into training, all right, discipleship, whatever you want to call it, relearning some new things, all right, teaching them to observe all things I've commanded you. That's a do, all right? So I'm saved. And just because I'm saved doesn't mean my life gets better. It's like we talked about a couple weeks ago on Old Fashioned Friday, was, hey, I'm forgiven. I need healing, right? And that means I need to learn to live different. Just because you became a Christian doesn't mean you know how to live different. You have Jesus living inside of you, and you have the power to do stuff you weren't able to do before, but new things are now possible. But this next series, though, is called Muscle Memory, right? And muscle memory is, I don't know, like any new task, anything from playing the piano to, pulling a holster out of conceal and going to shoot. I want to talk about that in a minute, right? To learn a musical instrument, to batting practice, to live in a different kind of life. The only way to do it is repetitious training over and over. I remember that few months ago, I used the illustration that in a baseball game, everything that's really, really important happens when the crowd's not there,
Yep.
when the stands are empty, because you have to teach your body to know what to do right
Instantly.
away, right? Because if a ball comes off the bat at 110 miles an hour towards your face and you have to think about what to do, you're dead.
Yep.
Right? And so I'm not talking about doing it without thinking, but because it's so muscle memory, it's what we do. And this is where we're going to go back to the Sermon on the Mount and look at these areas of life where, okay, I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good wife. I want to be a good person, all that. And then I'm trying to live my life in the kingdom like Jesus is talking about. What are these areas of life that we keep on running into? And we're going to look at that. And then how do we overcome them? This repetitious, reps under center, swings at batting practice, whatever you want to say. So much so that when this happens, I know what to do. And this is the key verse. Jesus said, like when you give, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. And everybody goes, you don't let anybody know what you give, right? Well, the next verse is, and when you pray. Well, everybody prays at dinner, in public, right? So that's not what it means. What it means is, and this is where Ben's going to kind of open up for us, is like when I drove here today, I had a hand on the steering wheel. My other was on not my phone, because that's wrong.
It's illegal.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably just adjusting the radio.
Mm-hmm.
But my first car was a stick shift, 67 Mustang.
Nice.
Right. And so I had my hand on the steering wheel. I had this one on the gear shift, 3 on the floor.
Nice.
Yeah. And then my foot was on the clutch, and it was muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't multitasking. Multitasking it's not even true.
It's impossible.
And I'm ADD. I know this is true.
Yeah.
It's your ability for your mind to switch from one task to another.
And back.
Right. And you have to get that wiring. So it's like, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. So a day is coming when the things that said, whenever this happens, this is what I normally did. Now I have, and it's cumbersome, right? Like learning to play the piano. You have to think about everything. And then you got someone like Mosier.
Yeah, who's incredible.
And he's like, hey, what are you doing over there? And he's playing a concerto.
With it like flipped upside down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's nuts. But it's because, how many times has he done that? And it all started with dun, 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 right? And that's what it is. And it's the same thing with being a husband and a father and a man. It's gonna take a lot of focus, and it's always going to take focus, because we get blindsided. That specific scheme we talked about, it's always an ambush, right? But there comes a time when every time I don't have to go, okay, my wife just, said something really sharp to me. What should I do here? I should. Although my friend Adam, all right, he actually went to a counselor, and he's going to have tattooed on his hand, how can I support you, babe? Right?
It's not a normal question that people ask.
No, but it's the one thing that a lot of the wives in our life, they don't need a lecture. They don't need, well, actually what you're feeling is wrong, which is my go-to. That's ridiculous that you feel that way.
Yep.
That's hypothetical.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
But Adam was telling me this counselor, and the number one thing that she wants from, his wife wants from him is, how can I support you, babe? All right? And he says, well, here's what I need. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And her response is,
You should know.
You should just know. Well, I don't.
I've never heard that before. Never heard that
How
before.
can you be so stupid?
Yeah.
I do it without even trying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I get an A.
It's unconscious. is the point.
Yeah. I'm consciously stupid. Right? But again, and it's going to feel weird and awkward. I mean, going in and sitting down on your kid's bed in 3rd grade when you've never done it before feels just, you feel like, right? I remember my friend Drew, I met him at the gym, and then he started coming to Flatirons, and then they got involved in, and Drew, so they had a Bible study at their house, and it was really awkward. And then they got to the front door in the foyer, and his wife said, someone should pray. And Drew's never played, and I guess they all got, and it was just awkward and weird.
That's
and he
awesome.
stumbled through this prayer.
And he's a big man, so like picturing him doing this is so good.
So then they all walk out the door, and she said, baby, that was awesome. And they had a baby 9 months later. That is a true
That's great.
story. So it doesn't matter. I mean, really, I think that the women in our life and the kids in our life are going, my dad's trying, my husband's trying, my boyfriend's trying. And that's the sexiest thing. I mean, it's so weird when they go, the sexiest thing you can do for me is run the vacuum cleaner and just take this child for a little while. without me asking you to. And you're like, that's not the sexiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with dishes.
Yeah.
Right? It's that apron maybe, but
that's it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Sidetrack.
that's a good one though.
That was good. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. So
Yeah.
then take that.
It's muscle memory over and over and over and over, and stuff you should know how to do. Well, we don't.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? I don't know how to swing a bat. Then go swing it 1,000 times and get a coach.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this is a little bit. We hope getting in a men's group. That's coaching, showing up week after week after week after week.
Yeah. When I played baseball growing up, when I was actually good at baseball before like drinking and drugs were fun.
Before they outlawed steroids.
Yeah. Whatever. I was able to use steroids if I wanted to back in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You actually
I didn't take them,
played
though.
before.
Yeah. I had a coach that it was literally every practice you were supposed to count how many swings you took. And so it's like 500, 600, 700, and you'd practice five times a week.
Yeah.
But you're counting, it's like these repetitions play out way down the road.
Right.
We started practice in November. We're not playing games until March.
Right.
For those couple months, it's like all we're doing is getting these repetitions down. So that way when it comes time to a different pitcher, to a different person, whoever that is, to the different way that the ball's going to spin,
Right.
you know what to do in that instant without having to think about it.
Right. And I think that one of the things in our culture, Cole, is that we just want it now.
Oh, that's me.
Like every middle school and high schooler, they're thinking about, they're watching NBA or they're watching the NCAA, and they're going, I want to do that. I should just be able to do that. What they don't know is how many free throws did that kid do in his driveway after practice, after he did a bunch at practice? How many laps did he do? How many mountains did he run? How many stairs did he climb? All that off camera when nobody was watching, and all they see is he's successful and he's got a shoe contract. I want that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the same way with I want a marriage like his or theirs, right? Can I just have it? Can you give me 3 steps, or can I just buy it? Is there a shortcut? Is there a microwave version of becoming the kind of man that I claim I want to be? And there isn't. In the Bible, this is a really curious aha moment for me, is that in the Bible, whenever Jesus healed somebody, the only people he healed, it was physical, and then it was temporary because their body died. But he never healed jealousy. He never healed integrity. He never healed trust. He never doubt. He said, okay, here's what you're going to have to go do. And you're going to do it over and over and over and over and over and over, because I'm a greedy person. Okay, there's no cure for that except you have to start doing something different in your life. And it's not like my leg's broken. Here, it's not broken anymore. It is, hey, I'm a selfish person. Hey, I'm an angry person. Nope, that's going to journey, and over and over and over. And you can go to the doctor and get your broken bone fixed. You can't go to the doctor and leave the office and be a great baseball player, mm-hmm. or a great athlete, or a great man, or a great husband, or a great father. That is that's muscle memory. It's going to take a long, 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 long time.
Yeah. So then take that idea.
Yep.
This will be our last thing. Take that idea. Take the idea that we have to put things into practice over and over and over again, the repetitions, the swings over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. With what you just taught for the past 7 weeks, how do we start putting those into practice repetition-wise as we go through this next series where we're focusing on like, okay, I have to do this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What do we do to step over that line every day? We have to, this band, we can step over it once, it's on our name, but if we're going to do it well, we have to step over that line again and again and again to make that choice. What does that look like?
Well, I think you have to have a plan. All right. I think that anytime like that you want to get in shape, or you want to lose weight, or you want to learn a new skill, right? Like if you want to go on a diet, everybody that's successful pre-plans out their food, mm-hmm. pre-makes it, pre-packages it, and puts it in there so that in the crisis of the moment, they don't go to the cabinet and go, screw it, I'm going to McDonald's, because there's a plan there. And so for you to say, okay, here's the 5 things I have to do every day, and get in a group, they'll help you do it. Showing up at church, these are what we talked about. Mm-hmm. You have to know the truth. How do I know the truth? You told me today you're reading 1 chapter of the Bible every day.
Yep.
And some of them are going to be more than others, but you show up. My wife just started going back to the gym. She's getting together this class reunion this summer, and so she has a target, right? And so she's gone to the gym like 3 times. She hasn't missed a workout. She's so frustrated right now because when you don't go to the gym, you can sit at home and know that you're not in shape or you're not in the physical shape you want to be, but it's not really costing you anything.
It's not real till you step into that gym.
You step out and then it reveals, oh, how far I have to go. Right?
Yeah.
So that's where she is in right now. She feels defeated. And I think a lot of men probably walked out of that auditorium or closed that laptop this week and went, okay, I'm going to do it this time. And they went and they said, okay, wife or daughter or son, hey, I'm sorry for some stuff I've done in the past. I'm going to work on it. And so here's what I want to say. And they got a big F you, pound sand, it's too late. And they felt like, well, then what's the use? I'm just going to go back to the bar and the website because nothing's ever going to change. Well, that's how you feel the first time you leave the gym. Man, I'm really weak and my goal is so far away, there's no way I'm going to do it. And so this is, the word of encouragement I gave to Robin this morning, and she's really tender about it right now, so I don't know if she heard it or not, but it was, babe, you've showed up. You've shown up every time. That's huge.
That's all she can control.
That's all she can control, yep. Right? And she can't control the pace. All she has control of is I showed up every time. And sometimes it went well and sometimes it didn't. I know when it won't go well, when she doesn't show up, right? And then, and that's what a lot of men will probably do this week and what I want to encourage them not to. Hey, before we wrap up, next month, so it's through mutual friends. So Jesse DeYoung's brother, Micah, who works with us in social media, he said, hey, you gotta meet my friend Barrett. I said, who's Barrett? And he's brought up his website and his Instagram. It's Barrett Fabush. He's this young preacher at this little country church back in Indiana. He went to the same Bible college my parents went to, and he's a firearms instructor. And that's what he's kind of famous for. I read something about him. He's like one of the top 10 most influential people in the gun industry. He's a preacher. He's married, got two little kids, but he's a firearms instructor. He instructs all over the world to law enforcement, military, bring him to say, hey, show us how you do what you do, because he's badass in every term of the word, right? He can teach concealed carry. He can go from concealed carry to 3 shots in less than a second, over and over.
The
and
videos
over.
are incredible.
I know it. And so True Exodus, TRUEXODUS on Instagram, and then Barrett Fabush, Parker Fabush on YouTube. But he's coming out.
Yep.
So we reached out to him, and I saw one of his YouTube things, and he was explaining in his church office. This is so great, all right? He has this gun going, here's when you shoot to the left bottom, right? But on the whiteboard behind him, it's all Dallas Willard stuff. And I'm like, it's my man. And
my uncle.
You're so full of crap. But he's going to come out. He's going to bring his family out. We're going to go up to the cabin. He's going to be on the podcast with us. And I know what he's going to say, though, about how, and again, all firearms instructors out there, all military, all cops, all shooters out there, they know this, is the way that you consistently get on target is repetition, muscle memory. You don't have to think about it. When somebody's charging you down the sidewalk, you have to go, I know where my shirt is, I know where my holster is, I know where my handle is, I know what to do to bring it up, I know how to get on target. And I have to do that in less than a second or my family dies. And so you go out there and you send, like when I shot my first bull, and it was a great shot.
Yes.
600 yards.
Of course. I've seen that one, yeah.
Through the heart. It was on TV.
It was a little less than 6, wasn't it?
It was 594.
So kind of close to 6. Sorry, continue.
It's kind of like you're kind of smart.
Kind of.
You're smart. You're
Yeah.
just a little bit off.
Just a little bit off.
Yeah.
A little bit below.
But somebody asked me, like, what'd you do to get ready for that? And I hiked several hundred miles, and I shot thousands of rounds at steel targets at a long way, further than what I shot that bull, because I want to know in the moment. Rourke Denver, Navy SEAL friend, commander, he's going to be on the podcast. And it's the same thing when he talks about Navy SEALs is you get out there, you break it down so that when you're in the field, you're not trying to figure out whether or not you're going to do something or how to do something. You just do it. And that's what it means to live the Christian life. And so as we kick off this new series, and again, whether you go to Flatirons or not around the world, you can tune in and be a part of this. You can get in a group around the world. We have online groups. Keep on listening to this, checking on Old Fashioned Friday. Keep on sending product.
Yes.
I've got these bottles showing up.
For free.
Yeah.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, they're not like, PBR like you drink.
Oh, you mean delicious beverages? Yeah.
You know, it's like high end, like Booker's over there. It's good stuff. But
PBR is high end too.
yeah,
It's red, white, and blue.
so
It's
anyway,
patriotic.
check out True Exodus on Instagram, and also because he's going to come out here
He'll be
on
out here.
March 10th through the 12th. We're going to go up to the cabin and hang out, shoot stuff, and he's going to show me how to start a new muscle memory, so that if you ever like cross me,
You could take me down. Yeah. You need the help.
I better be that sound.
That's quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be great.
I don't mean to show off, but
Whoa. Whoa.
yeah, I know it.
Dang. See you
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, bye.
That was good.
It was fun.
Yeah.